Objection! Is what I would say if you weren't watching the anime. Now here we go, people, finally the Ace Attorney anime, or as the long Japanese name is, as I'm going to regret saying this,逆転裁判の真実異議あり. Now, Ace Attorney, if no one's ever seen the Ace Attorney Phonix Wright games, then you should fucking just leave right now, because they're really goddamn fun. There was like, I remember playing through the entirety of the first one, which this is so far, like what the anime is doing is covering the first game that was on the DS. And I've got to say, for what they did with it, I loved it. I mean, I wasn't too like stickler for like the opening. I did like the ending a lot, it was really kind of sweet, but it's like, one thing that really got me with this is I've got to be now used to saying the Japanese names of these characters because they're completely different from what they are in English. So it like from what we got to see with our main character Naruto, like Ryuichi, that's Phoenix Wright to me. That's Phoenix Wright. So it's like that's seeing that, you know, got Mai and May, like, you know, go from that as well. You got his friend and it's like Edgeworth, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna get used to these fucking character names at all. So if I do start saying some of the characters in their English names and all that, like maybe she might know. So if I say Phoenix Wright at all, then you should know that I'm actually saying like Ryuichi, like the main character, like the new Ace Attorney. And if it's like, you know, Maya and all that, that'd be Maya. And then, you know, also as well to like this everyone else in the characters, Gumshoes, like that. If it's Reiji, which is Edgeworth, like, no, a bunch of these characters. So let's just go and get right into it. Completely following from the first case of the anime, we get to see Phoenix Wright doing his first homicide case, which he's actually doing for his friend. His friend actually got caught up in the mess of this, where it's like, hey man, like, you know, my ex and all that, she just got fucked up in this situation. You might sort this stuff out. And this slimy, because you get to see who does it at the first, like, you know, that's kind of how you always see, like, people say, like, oh, that's just kind of a spoiler, like, what are you doing that for? That's kind of what you do in the Ace Attorney kind of like anime. It's a bit like Detective Conan in a way, where you do a bit of the investigation yourself, and then also as well lurk around, like is what you do, albeit that they don't do it here so far in this first case. Although you do see it though, and I'm like, you get to see a little bit of like cross-examination and all this witness stuff, and going into it, he was like this sleazy motherfucker, which you know, he did it from the start, this guy with like a little mole on his head like that. He was like, yeah, it was him and all that, like he came in there and murdered, and it's like the evidence is just so shitty and so floppy, because of course it's gotta be, it's like the first case. Finding out, I was like, oh, we did it because this little thinker, like the actual little model, and it was like, nah, like Phoenix Wright, he caught him red-handed, saying, listen and all that, how did you know that the time was going out, like there was a blackout going on, also as well the clock was different because she was on a different, I was like, how did you know all this stuff about the time? And I was like, yeah, exactly, you should know this, you piece of shit, like that. And I was like, I loved it because they were actually doing, from what we got to see from the entirety of this, it's like you got to see like how exactly the courtroom was, which is completely the same as it is in the actual game itself. And I love that they got the court, like in the judging in, they even got the text from like the old game. I love that. So A1 Pictures is doing an incredible job kind of like reliving what it's like to actually play the game. If people have never seen the game before, it's really goddamn awesome, and I absolutely love that they're doing this for the show. Although, like, the Objection, it isn't the same as it is, like, when you get to see it in Japanese, unfortunately, and it kind of does throw me off with the characters. Like, this won't affect too many other people with actually the voice actors itself. There's nothing wrong with the voice acting itself. I kind of do like the guy that is voicing, like, Phoenix Wright in this anime. However, though, I've known him for, like, the entirety time throughout everything else. He's, like, Shu in Guilty Crown, Kenma in Haikyu, Issei in High School DxD, like, every time I hear his voice, I can't help but hear that pathetic little bastard out there. Like, he's also, like, as well, like, Todoroki from the new My Hero Academia anime as well, so I'm kind of looking forward to see what his role, in that is going to be, because, like, Todoroki's kind of a more serious character in that, so I am kind of curious about that. But it's like, when you get to see, like, his mentor, like, me kind of, like, take him around, it's like, yo, let's go, like, you're going to take you step by step, go throughout all this stuff, and it's like, you know what, it really was a goddamn good first case. It was excitable, definitely showed that he's definitely, you know, he's wet on his feet, he's still new to this situation. He's like, yeah, like, I'll tell you, like, next time while me and him, like, wanted to become, like, a, you know, an actual, like, lawyer in the first place, and, you know, actually, like, defend people. And it's like, well, you find out that ending he never got a chance to because she got murdered at the end of it, and I'm like, that is kind of crazy. Like, some people say, yo, I thought she was going to be a main character. Like, the anime's opening kind of made it look like she was like the main character. What the hell's going from that like that? So it's like, yeah, finding out that Mia got actually killed. So that was kind of crazy to even see, like, about that. It's saying, you know, like, Mia they actually got murdered. So, and that was his mentor as well. So I was like, that is surprising. Like, that just happened immediately out, like, just straight out the first episode. But that did happen in, like, the games as well. And the interesting thing is that from what we can see when the next one called Turnabout Sisters is that this is going to be trial 1, so there are going to be multiple. I think there's going to be at least 2 episodes to this, so I am looking forward to that a lot. I think like so far what everyone's done and all that, they've handled the material well for the first episode. Really did enjoy it. I do like the voice actors, although, you know, Phoenix Wright one did throw me off a little bit. I've got to say that. It was just because I've known him for like more etchier roles from other series, so it's like it was a little bit weird. Everyone else was perfect. I loved the judge. I loved all the other characters. They actually did it, and it's just like you compare this to like any other, like, if you've ever been like in a prosecution, like seen any of this stuff like going on when they're like defending witnesses and stuff like that, you've ever seen like Making a Murderer, or you've actually been in a courtroom before, you know it's completely different because no, you get told off and you like see like defendant kind of screaming and like doing that shit. It's like, no man, it wasn't me, tell me, like, it's like, yo, you gotta stay fucking quiet during this cross-exam, and it doesn't happen normally in a day. It normally gets like kind of quickly resolved in like, you know, a couple of weeks like that. It could drag on for a while, but it's like, you know, it's anime, so we're not going to have like a whole week like dedicated to this. But it's like, overall, I think for the first episode of the show, like, it wasn't too exhilarating for people. It's like, yeah, I didn't see it, like a lot more of it, but I think it's definitely got enough curiosity, and definitely that ending has got people to actually win over and seeing like, I'm going to see this like second episode. So I would honestly give it, I think it was a great episode. I think it was a 7.5 out of 10. Like, I think they completely massively actually did it. I think like if we're going by like actual game material and just like actually following that, then it's a 10. But like it wasn't that exhilarating, but I was really happy just seeing these characters in the anime format. I think it's like a 7.5. I think it's like so far a good start. But let me know what you think about Ace Attorney. Things right so far. Do you love the animation so far, or are you a little bit of stickler and you think you might check out the games? Have you seen the games before? I think they're pretty goddamn awesome. I haven't seen all of them. I don't know about this kid Apollo I've been hearing about, but it's like I'm looking forward to a lot more. But all I'm saying is look forward to Edgeworth and some other characters there, because there's some pretty good like supporting characters in the series. That's all for me. So if you love Ace Attorney as much as I do, hit that like and subscribe. But that's all for me. So I will catch you guys, you beautiful people, next time.